It's Friday, January 31. Welcome back, Foxy Games UK new and existing subscribers. And so, the world is experiencing extraordinary levels of high anticipation. You can literally feel it on Twitter right now. But is the Japanese console giant testing its player base's patience with its persistent radio silence regarding its PS5 reveal announcement just a little too much? We've had rumours of various dates throughout February. I mean, the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, the 12th, the 16th, the 29th. There was even suggestions Sony were going to announce something today. I mean, the day is not over, but they're walking on a tightrope right now, let me tell you. Though Sony aren't stupid. They know they have to come out soon and say something. There's a limit to how far you can push these things. Okay, some news bites and bits of pieces. Reported by Gamerant.com, more devs are actively working on PS5 than Xbox Series X apparently, and Sony and Microsoft have not fully revealed their next-gen consoles. It is widely believed that many development studios are already crafting game experiences for both platforms. Some of those games will launch alongside the consoles, and like Gearbox Software's Godfall and other games will be available later down the line. So how many developers are actively working on PS5 and Xbox SX games? Well, it seems that close to 1/4 have PS5 projects in development. By comparison, around 17% of developers believe their next game will be available on Xbox Series X. The data was collected via a game development conference survey of close to 4,000 developers who were asked a number of questions about their upcoming projects. Now, the focus has largely been on comments regarding the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Perhaps the most eye-catching discovery from the survey is that 38% of polled developers are interested in making PS5 games and 25% are interested in Xbox SX. Why exactly there is favoritism towards PlayStation 5 is unclear, but it might have something to do with the console's existing huge fan base, the fact that it sold over 100 million consoles, it is the market leader. While Microsoft has been able to make up considerable ground in recent years, Sony outpaced its competitor in terms of sales and install base. Now, typically, this would translate into strong sales for the next generation of console, assuming that there is a lot of parity between competitors. Prior to this current generation, most figured out that Microsoft would start off strong, but the messaging surrounding the Xbox One really shifted public sentiment in PlayStation's favor. Ultimately, the reveals will shape developer perception and how hard studios push really for one platform over the other, but realistically, it's more likely that most new games will be available on both the PS5 and Xbox Series X from a multi-platform point of view. Still, it's interesting to consider potential reasons why the developers polled really favored the PS5 over Xbox SX. Now, according to the writer of this article, the two consoles' sales numbers are not too far off from each other. Well, that can't be right, but anyway, distinct enough to suggest some favoritism. Fans will see what that means when Sony and Microsoft eventually reveal their consoles later this year. Sony's PS5 and Microsoft's Xbox Series X will release this holiday. And quick news burst incoming. Sony Interactive Entertainment has indicated it wants to resurrect old or dormant PlayStation franchises for PlayStation 5. Whether that means Legacy of Kain on PS1 gets a remake is anyone's guess. Though since Sony are resurrecting old dormant IP, it would do well to bring back my favorite, the Getaway series. A reboot of sorts utilizing the increased power of PlayStation 5. Picture the setting. The game begins in 1960s East End London, and the in-game bosses could do a take on Cockney businessmen Reggie and Ronnie Cray. The game could really have a finale set in present-day Europe or North America, and the soundtrack could be epic. Make it so, Sony. So in other news, some PS5 rendered concept art images recently appeared online. Obviously, this is not what PS5 retail units will look like, and the biggest giveaway here is the PS5 logo emblazoned with the Roman numeral like a V-shaped as the 5. So we know this is definitely not PlayStation 5. It's not that it looks bad, but it looks really kind of cool actually, but its design is not practical, especially when you look at the two meager air vents rear side of the unit. Now, this artistic mock-up PS5 kind of resembles a knockoff of an Amazon Echo Alexa device and is far too similar, in my opinion, to Microsoft's Xbox Series X design. Just imagine how much heat this thing would generate. Now, it joins a slew of other PS5 concept renders knocking around the internet. I've seen more than a dozen or so over the past 18 months alone. Ideally, the PS5 shouldn't deviate too far from the current PS4 or Pro design, but you never know until it's revealed to the discerning public. Now, I'd like to talk about the excessive focus on PS5's T-flops. It seems that almost all people seem to be discussing this these days. Never mind the incredible games left to play on PS4 this current generation. Now I'm going to show you a series of images to remind you that it's not just about power. First up, Jodie from Beyond Two Souls, originally a PS3 release some 7 years ago, followed by a PlayStation 4 remaster to 1080p a few years back, and still visually stunning. Next we have a character named North from Detroit Become Human. Just look at the incredible detail on offer here. And moving on to Ellie, dear sweet Ellie from The Last of Us. How can we forget little Ellie? We've all been through so much together. Released back in 2013 at the end of PS3's lifecycle, but remastered for PS4 in 2014. But still looks as really good on last gen hardware. And Aloy, the cunning, resourceful, beautiful Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. If you think that game looked amazing, wait until you see the sequel running in real time on PlayStation 5. Decima engine is on its really third iteration, that's V3. Much has been added since Hideo Kojima used it to create Death Stranding. And speaking of Death Stranding, here's a character named Fragile, simply stunning to behold. I think it's important to consider a standard PS4 did this. Now what do you think PS5 will do? And now what we are really going to witness are the visual possibilities gamers can realistically look forward to next gen. And we are talking uber photorealism here. These two gorgeous women are rendered, they are not real. This is what is possible when a AAA project is in the hands of a super capable AAA studio. Like Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Guerrilla Games, Sucker Punch, Sony Bend, you name them. There are plenty of SIE first-party studios who can pull off visuals not far removed from this level of detail on PlayStation 5. But processor-heavy materials like cloth and hair rendering will look indistinguishable from the real thing. Character models will look photorealistic with advanced lighting and techniques such as subsurface scattering. Graphic pop-in will be rare and draw distances will push back further than the eye can see. Hashtag PlayStation 5. But go ahead, sound off, share your thoughts and opinions on today's news, because that unfortunately brings us to the end of another video. But let's continue the discussion cordially in the comments. And for all your current and next gen news updates, rumour and rampant speculation, hit the like button, spread the word, and keep it locked to Foxy Games UK. Remember, relevant links where applicable can be found in this video's description. Subscribe to Foxy Games UK, remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss content. Thumbs up if you like it here, and help us reach more like-minded gamers simply by sharing the video. Consider supporting Foxy Games UK via Patreon, and or grab yourself a Foxy Games UK branded t-shirt or hoodie, available in various colours and designs. You'll find both links in the video's description. That concludes our time together today. Certainly great hanging out. Until the next video, and until RGT Podcast later this evening, remember, play games, not corporations.